But the question is, can Netanyahu survive without responding? Listening to Ben Gvir and others already this evening, it seems to me that Netanyahu would fall from power were he to go along with what Biden seems to be asking him to do.
There's a couple of things that I think we're going to see. One, I think we're going to see Israel ratcheting up the pressure on Hezbollah. And now we're going to have to see, the skills of Hassan Nasrallah and his ability to manage this escalation ladder, which he's done so masterfully. But more pressure is going to be put on Hezbollah by Israel, and Iran is going to be pressuring Nasrallah not to allow it to blow up, not to allow it to, become the general war that Netanyahu so desperately needs. Two, I think Netanyahu is going to call in the head of Mossad and sit Ben Gvir down with him and say, we're going to double down on our covert war against Israel. A lot of people have forgotten, but there was a huge demonstration last year that became a civil war. I talked to senior Iranian officials about it, and they said this isn't demonstrations. This is a hybrid war run by the CIA and Israeli Mossad designed to bring Iran down from within. And it was a big problem. It was a big fight. The Iranians won, they prevailed. But I would see Israel encouraging Baluch nationalist movements to strike Iran and Zahedan. I would see them encouraging ISIS to strike inside Israel. I would encourage them to see the Kurds striking, the Mujahideen al-Khalq striking, all these external forces that the CIA, the British, and Israeli intelligence have been propping up for years. I think you're going to see the Israelis saying, you need to double down on this stuff. We need to put the pressure on Iran because we can't be seen as doing nothing. We have to be seen as doing something. And this, again, will test the limits of Iran's deterrent policy. At what point in time will Iran expand it to say that hybrid attacks using a proxy qualifies as the same as a direct attack, and our deterrence will kick in as well. We dodged a bullet, but we're not out of the firefight yet. There's going to be a lot of pressure put on down the road. The good news is Iran doesn't want to fight. They're not cowards. They prove that they will fight if need be. But Iran's focus is on the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It's on BRICS. It's on normalization of relations with Saudi Arabia. It's on economic prosperity. And a war with Israel will disrupt all of this. So the good news is there's a lot of patience built into Iran's foreign policy, a lot of flexibility. And that's necessary at this point in time because Iran has to understand that Israel has to do something for internal politics. And you either want a war or you don't. If you don't want a war, you're going to have to grit your teeth and bear it as Israel uses proxy forces to put pressure on Iran to punish Iran. Iran will have to absorb these attacks. But the other good news is Israel's losing the bigger war. Remember, the other thing Iran doesn't want to do is distract attention away from the fact that Hamas is winning, that Hamas has turned global opinion against Israel, that the world is now talking about a Palestinian state in ways that they had never done before. A larger war between Israel and Iran distracts people from that goal. And Iran doesn't want that. Iran understands that the axis of resistance together with Hamas was in the process of strategically defeating Israel, and that's the fight they want to fight. So I think Iran will be willing to absorb blows from Israeli proxies in order to stay focused on the strategic victory that they're handling and not fall victim to the kind of, petty human narcissism that Israel falls victim to, where they say, we've been slighted, we have to do massive revenge. Iran has shown itself to be a very patient, very resilient, very mature nation state when it comes to this sort of activity.